Ooh, look how beautiful that is. Look how pretty. Ugh, look at that. Hi you guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I'm so excited for this video because we're doing a makeup look. We are doing my kind of Thanksgiving makeup look, and I'm so excited. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, just a general holiday makeup look that has some shimmer, that is neutral. It's not too over the top, but it still feels really glowy and beautiful. And you have just like, oh, I love this makeup look. It's just so good. Just look at that. By the way, if you don't know, it's the makeup look on my face. I didn't say that, but the look I have on my face, and the skin is just incredible. The eyes are just so glowy and beautiful. I don't know, and it's gonna last you so long. I have so many tips and tricks in here for how I like to kind of make my makeup last really long during the holidays in general, especially ones where you know it's gonna be like a full day of food and good times with friends or family or whoever you spend your holidays with. This is like such a good, like, no muss or fuss, gonna look good. If you have combo skin like me, I have a way to kind of, we got a product that's going to really help keep her in check. And yeah, I just want to jump into this video and get started. But before we do that, I would love to know down below, what is your kind of go-to holiday makeup look? Do you go more warm in tone, more cool tone? Do you love a bright red lip? Let me know down below, because I'd love to hear from you guys and love to know what you guys really love to see and also what you love to wear. Please leave a comment down below. And yeah, I just want to jump into this video and get started. So if you're excited for this video and more videos like this, then please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into my Thanksgiving makeup look. All right, Thanksgiving makeup, let's get into it. I mean, I say Thanksgiving, but this really can be used for any holiday. I'm jazzed. Let's just jump right in and get started, because there's a lot of steps here. And by steps, I mean, it doesn't need to be complicated, but just to make the makeup just last all day, through all the eating, through all the stuff. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time, not too much time, but you got to put in a little bit of effort. So let's get into it. First things first, brow. Now, for the brows, I'm going with a brow product that just the hold will be there all day. The LYS Beauty brow gel, which I love. This is a clear brow gel. I'm cleaning this off because there's a lot of product on this wand. So definitely clean it off, or if not, you're just going to have a lot of product on your brows. And it just, these types of brow gels, which are true gels, not my preferred type, which is more of a pomade style, they do take a little bit to dry down. So we're just gonna do our brows really quick with this and then fill them in. All right, brows are on. Now I'm going to let these dry for a second, then we're going to go and fill them in. Now, I really like this brow gel. Again, the hold is truly, you could be in anything. It could be a hurricane. It could be anything. I swear the brows won't move. This is really, really impressive with the hold specifically. Again, just make sure you clean off the wand, because I do feel like there's too much product on the wand. So I clean it off, and that just means scrape off the excess. And then I do my brows, and I do not dip back in when I go to the next brow, because there is plenty product, trust me. But this is a really, really nice brow product. And if you want your hairs to stay in place all day, this is the one to go for. Okay, now to fill in the brows, we have two brow pencils here today. We have the Westman Atelier, which is my tried and true, and then I have the Victoria Beckham Beauty one. And since I feel like I don't use this one on camera as much, I'm going to use this one. However, if I have to pick between the two, I always go Westman Atelier. It's like the perfect consistency for me. It has it's waxy enough where it really, really holds all day. However, it's not so waxy that it makes your brows a mess when you have brow gel on already. It's so good. And this one thing lasted me a year. This is a second one that I have, or this might be a third one. No, I think this is the second one that I have, and I'm just obsessed with this. So, so good. Okay, let's go on with Victoria Beckham Beauty. This one is the shade dark brown, I believe. Anytime there's gold writing on anything, my eyes are like, nope, not gonna be able to read that. Yeah, dark brown. And I really, really like this brow pencil because it really, first of all, reminds me of the Kosas brow pencil in the shape, but it's very, very small, but it isn't so small that it doesn't, oh my gosh, my dog is snoring. It's not so small that I feel like I have to work a ton with it to really make my brows look great. This is really, really nice. And I really like the tone of this, which is always something I've struggled with brow pencils. Okay, happy enough with the brows because it's just need to get my brows done desperately, and I'm just on pause for getting my brows done for at least a couple weeks. So brows are good enough for now. Now let's move on to the base and all of that. So I have two products I'm going to put on before I do any skin tint or foundation or anything. The first one I'm going to use is actually this one. This is from Nude Sticks. I love this. And this is just such a good product for specific. I have an oily T-zone. I have combo skin, and this just makes my T-zone really oil controlled throughout the day. And I feel like during Thanksgiving or any other holiday, when it's a longer day, you know, you're gonna be spending a long time with your family or friends, whatever it is, you really want to just make sure she is in check. So we're gonna use a little bit of this. I love this stuff. It's really, really good. And I just apply it, it's clear, to the areas that I know are gonna be the worst. And the mustache area, sweetie, she's always the worst. I'm gonna put it right here as well. And then what I like to do is I like to take my finger and just really blend it out. It's just so good. I love what that does, and it really does control the oil in my T-zone throughout the day, which is so, so good because we're just an oil slick right in the middle of my face, but the rest of my face isn't. It's very rude. Anyways, let's move on to the next product that we're going to use underneath the makeup. We're going on with these drops from Westman Atelier, which are literally my obsession. I have the shades here. I have the shade Peau de Pêche and Peau de Soleil. I love these. I like to mix them together. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a little bit mixy-poo of the two on like right here on my cheeks. I just love it, but I'm not going to bring it too far forward. So I'm going to kind of focus it in this area. So I'm going to take a little bit of each. I'm dropping everything. This is Peau de Soleil. So pretty. You don't need two drops at all. You could just use one of them, but I want to, I'm going to mix them together just because why not? We might as well. It's a video. I love these. These are so good. I like to wear them all over my face. I really like how my skin drinks this product up. And again, we're just doing a little mixy-poo of the two. Just such a gorgeous product. Look at that. And I'm going to focus it just right here so we don't bring it too far forward. And we're just going to kind of right here really highlight and just make sure we don't bring it, again, too far forward. Oh, I love it. Just look at what that does. It gives like the perfect sheen. I really like focusing it in this area, and I like not bringing it too far forward just because, again, I'm an oil slick kind of in the middle of my face. So because I just put that mattifying product down, I don't want it too far forward, but I love what this does to my cheeks, especially once I wear it with a foundation or whatever on top. But again, I like to wear it all over my face all the time. So the next we're going to go on with a foundation, skin tint. I have two options. I have this one from Exa Beauty, which I love. This is such a good foundation. It's very, very natural looking, which I really like. I'm kind of gravitating towards this for the day. But then I also have the Westman Atelier complexion drops. I love these. These are a little bit more on the dewy side. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go on with this because I want something a little bit more natural, but I don't want it to be too intense or anything. And I'm going to just do one little drop on the back of my hand. Again, I don't know if I said this name. I wear 270 Rebecca. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the back of this brush here, which is an hourglass brush, and I'm going to kind of mix the foundation into the brush. And what I like about this brush is when I do that, it doesn't drink up of the product like in a very intense way. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of apply it to my face very seamlessly, just very easily, and I'm not going to go too crazy. And that way I kind of control how much product I use, and it's not too much. And I'm going to go over everything before I go over my cheeks so that I don't move the product on my cheeks too much. And I like to go over like that. And I just love what this kind of technique, this way I apply this makeup. I really like the way that my skin looks when I do this. It just looks so good, and you still have that sheen on your cheeks, and you look really healthy and dewy, but you know, it's just kind of very controlled, and I don't know, I love doing it that way. I don't know if you guys do that with your makeup, use a fluffy brush to apply it and really get the makeup in the brush. I know it's something a lot of famous makeup artists do. This is not anything, you know, that I do alone or anything. It's just so good. And then I'm going to take this Heavenly Luxe number 7 brush, and I'm just going to go around kind of the midpoint of my face specifically, but just around the edge of my face to make sure that there isn't too much product. Again, I really, when I get close to the mirror, everything looks so natural, even though I am wearing a foundation, and it's a more medium coverage foundation, but it just looks so good. And then throughout the day, I'm not feeling dewy or too, I don't know, I'm wearing too much makeup. And if anyone comes close to my face, they're not like, oh, Henny, that's a lot of makeup. And there's nothing wrong with that. The more makeup, honestly, the better, but I like a really natural finish to the face. So then next what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do my concealer, and I'm going to take a little bit of this Extra Beauty color corrector, which you know is my obsession of life. This is the shade Peach. I also have the shade Dark Peach, which is more of a true deep orange color. It's gorgeous, but right now I'm not really tan, so this is the shade we're going with. And I'm just going to do a very little bit right where I have the dark, like purple blue. That is just very rude. And what I'm first going to do is I'm going to actually take my finger and blend it in with my finger. How do you guys like to blend in your color corrector if you do use it? Do you like to use a brush, your finger? I prefer finger because I have a little bit more control of where the product is going, because again, it is a color corrector. I don't want to move it too much outside of like the actual area, and sometimes with a brush or a sponge I feel like I do that. I mean, look at what that does to my under eyes. It's just so freaking good. And I don't even have concealer on yet, and that's kind of wild. It is so good. I'm just obsessed. So then next we're going to move on to the concealer. And today we're using Iris and Romeo. I actually got another shade in this, which is more brightening. I have the shade 7, but I also got the shade 5. Shade 6 was a little bit too, almost weirdly looked a little bit too ashy for my skin. Like it just, for whatever reason, it didn't play well. This one is really nice, and we're gonna go on. My dog snoring is so loud. I don't know if you can hear, but she is snoring so loud, and she's so cute. And she's sleeping on this new dog bed that I got her. Okay, new. I got it for her months ago. Anytime I get her a new dog bed or something, she hates it and won't use it. Right now, she like got in it by herself. So this is a huge victory for me, because I swear anytime I get something for my dog, she hates it. Anyways, I digress. So I'm going on with the shade 5 today. I love the shade 7 as well, but I do want a little bit more brightening under my eyes, and this is a little bit of a brightener shade for me. So we're gonna do right here. Look, it's just such a good shade for brightening for my complexion. Again, I got the shade 5, but the shade 7 is really good and still does have brightening qualities to it. It's just not quite as bright as I want it for my under eyes. I really like that I got this shade. So good. And I actually got this at Credo. I was visiting my friend, and there was a Credo by her, so we got it. I love it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to let this sit for a little bit, let her marinate, let her get a little bit dried down, but not in a bad way. And then we're going to blend it out with a sponge, because I've been loving blending this concealer out with a sponge specifically. We'll be right back. All right, let that sit for about a minute. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my beauty sponge. I'm actually going to spray it with this LYS Beauty setting spray, just because it's been sitting for a little bit and I feel like it needs to be juicied up a bit. Juicied up a bit. Hate that I said that, but you know. She's got to get a little bit more damp. I'm going to work the product in, and we're going to blend my concealer out with this. I love that concealer. The way it blends out is just the best. So then next what I'm going to do is I am going to set my entire face with setting spray. Again, LYS Beauty setting spray. I bought a backup of this, you guys, because she's just so good. And just the mist is perfect. And the way that your makeup lasts with this is so good. And what I love is that you guys have been messaging me and also commenting on videos and stuff like that, letting me know how much you love the setting spray, which makes me so happy to hear, because it's just so good. And finding a good setting spray, I don't care in what world, clean, conventional, it doesn't matter. It can be so hard unless you kind of stick to like Urban Decay or Charlotte Tilbury or something like that. This is really good and definitely measures up to those. All right, we're dried down. I used my handheld little fan, which is genius. If you don't have one of these and you do your makeup a lot, and you use setting spray a lot, this is definitely worth grabbing because it makes everything dry down a lot quicker and makes your makeup process go a lot quicker. So then next we're going to go on with a cream bronzer, and today we're going on with this one. So this one is from Rose Inc. I love this one, and I have the shade Seychelles, I believe. Seychelles in this, and I'm going to take a little bit, put it on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to take a brush and apply it to my face. And the reason I'm going with this one is because I just love how neutral it is, but it just looks really, I don't know, you'll see the glow it gives. It's just so good. This is such a good bronzer. I used to use it a ton, and then I kind of stopped because I was using a ton of other stuff, and now I'm back on the train with her because she's just so good. I mean, look at that bronze, and it just melts into the skin. If you've ever been curious about the Chanel bronzer, this is a very, very similar consistency. And I know a lot of people say the Say Beauty one is, and it is a similar consistency as well. But I feel like this one just is a thinner and lighter consistency than the Say Beauty one. I mean, the Say one is beautiful as well, but this one's my favorite of the two if I had to pick. It's just so good. All right, next I'm going to go on lightly with a powder bronzer just to really set everything in. The key for makeup lasting a long time and just looking good for a really long time is light layers, a little bit of cream, a little bit of powder set on top of each other. I have two here today. I have one from House Labs, which I think is the one I'm going to use. This one is in the shade Medium Level 7. I love this one. It's just so creamy and finely milled. It's so good. And then also this one from Victoria Beckham Beauty, which is in the shade 4. I also have the shade 3. I love this powder. I feel like I use this one more on camera, so I'm going to go on with the House Labs today, but it's just all so good. So I'm going to just dip in with a brush. I'm actually going to go with this brush here. This is the back of the double-ended one, but this is an old one I have that unfortunately she perished. So we're just going to dip in and on the back of my hand, get some of the powder off, and then just lightly apply it on top because I don't want it to add a ton of more pigmentation. I just want it to kind of set everything in place, but still looks like skin. So we're very lightly applying it. Oh, I just love it. All right, so the next what we're going to do is we're going to go on with blush. Now I have two blushes here, but I do think I'm going to go with this one. This is the Rowan Beauty blush in the shade Natural Rose. She's gorgeous, and this would look good on so many people. So dewy, so pigmented. It's just so pigmented, but not so pigmented. I don't know how to explain it. Like the pigmentation is there, but it's not so much that you feel like this is a really good beginner blush. Like you don't feel like you made an oopsie daisy right away. This is so good. I think I'm going to go on with the Victoria Beckham Beauty blush. I actually ordered the shade Mini Skirt, which I know someone reminded me that I keep saying I want to order another shade of the blush, and I just never do. She ordered her because I saw that they had a sale, and I was like, okay, this is the time. So this is the shade Playground, which is my obsession. I love these blushes because it's very natural looking and the longevity really is there. So then I'm going to go on with this brush here. This is a just slanted small blush. This is actually from BK Beauty. This is the only brush I found that is smaller than the Sephora brush that I love. That's a slanted blush brush that has like the fluffiness that I want. It took me forever to find a different alternative, and I wanted something smaller because I have a small face, and sometimes I just want it a little bit more pinpointed. And I'm just gonna, the combination of this bronzer and blush duo is just everything to me. It's just so good. And I'm kind of focusing more towards the back and kind of keeping the blush to here for now. I might pull it further forward later, but as of now, I'm happy with it just being kind of towards the back a little bit. Okay, next I'm going to set this blush with a powder blush. Now, the powder blush I'm going to use with this, unfortunately, doesn't exist anymore, and I'm trying to find an alternative to this because this brand no longer exists. It's from Becca, and this is the shade Wild Honey. Now, I love this blush, and this is a really good match for this. So I'm going to, you can do even a pink, but I really want to show if you use this blush looks so boring, so neutral, so beige. If you go on with a more beigey blush, it still will look really, really good. And every time I wear this blush, I actually get questions from from people what blush it is, and every single time I'm like, I'm sorry, it no longer exists. So I'm gonna dip in with the big side of this brush. I'm gonna take some off, and we're just gonna lightly kind of apply, and it just is the perfect match to that Victoria Beckham blush. And unfortunately it no longer exists, but I have been on the hunt for a dupe because it's really good, and I want to find something that's a good alternative but also a clean alternative. This is a nice blush color, and I've always really liked it. Highly recommend if you can find it, because I feel like sometimes randomly Becca products will pop up. If you can find it, you know, grab her, 'cause she's good. I know who owns them now, Smashbox or something. They still have their highlights. They don't have those blushes, but maybe they'll come out with them. Anyways, I really like that. And if you're looking for a nice beigey blush, try and find a dupe for the shade Wild Honey, because this is really good. And if you're looking for one that will work on my type of complexion and deeper, this is definitely the type of shade I feel like a lot of people would pass, but it's really good. Anyways, I digress. Stop talking about a product that no longer exists. Next, what I want to do is I do want to set my face with powder, and I'm going to set my face with the Amicole Loose Setting Powder in the shade Translucent. And I'm just going to take my, I'm going to take this. It's actually an Amicole powder brush. This is a very nice brush for setting your face. And I'm going to just do my T-zone and my under eyes. All right, next we're going to go on very quickly with a highlight. I'm going to go on with this one from Minori, which is My Obsessional Life. This is their shade Champagne. And I'm going to just very lightly on the tops of my cheekbones, just add, look how gorgeous that is. And just add a little bit of highlight that I just feel like will just zhuzh up the look a bit. It's just very, very pretty, and I just love. And then I'm also going to do a little bit down the center of my nose. All right, highlights on. We are going to move on to the eyes. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to put a primer on, and I'm going to go, I have one of, I think I'm going to go with the PYT primer, a lid primer. However, whatever primer you have, you can even use, let's say a concealer or something like that. But I really like this primer. She just does such a good job at priming my lid. So I'm going to put, I have a little bit on the back of my hand, and I'm going to take a bit and apply it to the lid. So then before I go on with any eyeshadow or anything, I'm going to take a little bit of powder, and I'm going to set my lid with powder, because I feel like a lot of the time when people use primer, they don't realize you need to set it, just because you don't want it to kind of, eyeshadow to kind of skip. So if you set it, there's no tackiness on your lid anymore. So then you don't have to worry about it kind of, any eyeshadow kind of applying not really how you want. So I just make sure set all over my lid and really make sure I get everywhere. All right, so the next what we're gonna do is we're gonna go on with a bronzer. I was thinking about going on with it like a full eyeshadow palette, but I just feel like that's not necessary for this look specifically. I'm gonna go on with just a little brush, and we're gonna go with her. We're going on with the House Labs, and we're just gonna dip and kind of just build up kind of a transition shade in the crease. All right, I really love that. Next, what I'm going to do is I actually have this eyeshadow palette here, and I'm going to take this shade here. This is the Kosas eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to take this shade here, not as much as was on my finger, just a little bit, and I'm going to put it right here where the kind of like the brown eyeshadow, the bronzer shade is, and to the brow bone to kind of create just like a very nice and light gradient. And that's always how makeup artists kind of get their eyeshadow to not look quite as stark on the lid transition wise. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take that same bronzer, and we're just going to pull it down on our lower lash line for some depth. All right, happy with that. Next, we're going to go on with a Rowan palette. I have here, this is the shade Gold Lust. I love these eyeshadow palettes. It's just so good. I hope this is focusing. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take the shade here, which is my most beloved shade, and I'm going to kind of pull that in the front of the eye look, not all the way all over the lid, but this is a really beautiful shade, and it just gives very beautiful sheen without being too much. Oh, I don't know what is going on outside. It's so loud. I hope you guys can't hear that. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of that shade and I'm going to pull it on the lower lash line towards the front a little bit. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take this loose eyeshadow from Range Beauty. I have the shade Sunkissed in this, and we're going to also apply that to our lid. I'm actually just going to take product specifically from the lid because there's a lot on here. And again, loose eyeshadows are, they're a lot. Oh, look how beautiful that is. Look how pretty. Oh, look at that. Just a gold shimmering goddess beauty. And I'm going to kind of just bring that, not all the way to the back, but all over. I just love how pretty that is. Sometimes you forget, and by you, I mean me, how much I love a gold eyeshadow look, but also I don't want it to be too intense, but this gold is just, I just can't. It honestly, it doesn't even do it justice in the lens. I'm seeing it. It's so gorgeous in person, and I like to take it just slightly above the kind of crease there, but not too high at all. It's just so pretty. I cannot stand it. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of that shade on this brush, and again, more towards the front and middle area. Bring that shade kind of down, not all the way across. I mean, you can do it all the way across, but I just kind of prefer when it's more focused towards the front. Now, this is a loose glittery eyeshadow, so sometimes I will always do usually my foundation first and then do eyes. However, if you're nervous about fallout, do your eyes first and then do your foundation, because I never do that, and that is always a mistake. So then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this light shade here from the palette, from the Gold Lust Rowan palette, and I'm going to just, in the crease in the corner here, really add that shade. I love the kind of mix of warmer tones, but then also you have a more neutral cool tone shade like this one here. It's just gorgeous, but it's not so cool that it's very stark white and very like too intense, if that makes sense. And I make sure I pull it forward as well. And then I'm also going to take that shade and just right here on the brow bone, apply it. So then next I'm going to take this Victoria Beckham eyeliner and I'm going to tightline both sides of my eyes. So then I'm going to take this same eyeliner, put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then actually create a wing with it just using a slanted brush. I really try and find a slanted brush. You don't have to do this, but finding a slanted brush that's really thin, I really enjoy this one a lot, is really key for the eye look. I feel like in general when you're creating a wing, but I only want it to be half of my face. I don't want to drag it all the way across, if that makes sense. Okay, very happy with that. Next, what we're gonna do is first I'm gonna set my face. We're gonna curl our lashes and do mascara and then move on to the lips. I like setting my face after I do all the eye stuff because then I feel like it really locks everything in. And then I like to set again at the end. You don't have to do this. I'm very over the top, but I just really like doing multiple layers of setting spray because it really does make a difference for a long day of wear. Now we're gonna let this dry really quick and then we're gonna move on. All right, let's curl our lashes. I just love what curling your lashes truly does just to the makeup. It just does such a good job. So normally I would go on with my Jones Road Beauty mascara. However, I had an accident with it and it fell, and I don't know what angle it fell at, but it like kind of broke in half, and then some of it shattered a little bit. I don't know. It was so weird. I feel like that's never really happened to me before with any type of mascara. I don't know. It definitely was a weird angle, and I was distraught. I already have one on the way because I can't live without her, but I was upset. So we're gonna do a little combination of these two because I've been really liking these two combined. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Tower 28 and first, then do the Ilia, and then on my lower lashes I'm gonna do Tower 28 as well because I like the way Tower 28 is on my bottom lash more than Ilia, even though Ilia is great on my bottom lash too. So let's do some mascara. I just love what mascara does for a makeup look. It completely transforms it. At first you're like, is it good though? And then you put it on and you're like, never mind. I'm an artistic genius. This looks so good. I don't know. I'm obsessed with it. It's just amazing. Next, let's move on to the lips. So in general, I feel like for holidays, an easier lip, the better. And sometimes just having like a lip liner and like a color you can easily apply on top is best, or even just like a lip balm that's tinted. So I'm gonna give kind of all my options that I would do. So the first one would be from Rowan Beauty. I love their liquid lip balms, and this just is so good. So this is the shade Jude. There's also a, I don't know why I didn't grab it, a berry tone. For kind of Thanksgiving, I prefer something a little bit more just more browny in tone in general, but these are really good and they just give you so much color and so much hydration. It's great. Then also the Summer Fridays liquid lip balms. I have the shade Brown Sugar. This one is really, really good. I love this, and this is such a good shade for like this type of look. Then I also have this one from Ami Collet, which you know I love, and this is their brown shade. I feel like, okay, I can't read the bottom of this because the writing's all smudged, but this is their brown shade. This is really, really good. I love this. And then I also have one from Merit Beauty. This is the shade 1990, but also the shade Slip. Like, they're both really beautiful, kind of more browny tone. Slip is more of a light brown tone, whereas this is more of a darker brown, but they're just gorgeous, and the pigmentation isn't so much that it feels overwhelming, but also it feels like it does something. So anyways, I'm gonna go on with this lip liner from Jones Road Beauty, which is my obsession of life, and this is their shade, what is it, Cognac. I love this. I've been using so much of this. Freshly sharpened, because I actually planned ahead today and sharpened something. My eyeliner was not sharpened at all. We're just gonna, I just love this shade. It's just so gorgeous. And I'm gonna just blend out with my finger really lightly and just kind of diffuse the line so it's not so intense. I think then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go on with this shade 1990 from Merit. I really like this. How pretty. Oh, it's so good. The shade Slip is also just gorgeous if you want something a little less intense in color, but you want something it's still brown. This is just gorgeous. The shade 1990 is newer to me, but I'm obsessed with it. And then I'm actually going to go on with a little bit of this, because why not include all browns? So this is Brown Sugar, again from Summer Fridays. I love this makeup look. I was actually just thinking maybe I want a little bit more sheen. So I think I'm going to take one of these from the Westman Atelier. I'm going to do Peau de Pêche. I'm just going to take a very little bit of this, because a very little bit of this goes a long way. Like that right there, what I just put on the back of my hand, if you can see, too much, way too much. I'm going to take a little bit of this with my finger and just lightly press right. Oh, look how gorgeous. It's just so good, you guys. Truly, I love this product. I just love it, you guys. It's just so good. I'm obsessed. And if you can get it on sale during the holiday sales, I do believe Credo is having a sale. So it's definitely worth checking out. I'm sure Westman Atelier is also having a sale, but they are really, really worth the money in my opinion. There's also other products out there. I mean, just even buying the like L'Oreal Lumi Glotion would kind of do that, but this is just so good and it just melts into the skin. And even though I applied it on top of makeup, it does not pick up the makeup underneath, which just so good. I love this makeup look. Let me know down below what you think. Do you think you'll be going with something like this for the holidays? And yeah, that's it for this video. That is it for this Thanksgiving makeup look, or I guess if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, this holiday makeup look. I love this. It has sheen. It just looks, it's just so good. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.